And how said I'm here to learn from you because I know nothing about it, and it would be great. So hello YouTube, my name is Rafael. I'm here with Luis, Diego, Brizola, and Fabiano to start another English immersion here on Talk. I'm not a teacher, I'm a student, to ask everyone here. So it means that no one here will correct each others. We will respect the others' opinions and have fun. That's the most important thing. Learn and enjoy this moment. So, guys, as I said, as I told you, today we'll talk about being an entrepreneur and how to build your own business and whatever more related about it. And I would like to understand for you: do you believe that entrepreneurs are born and not made, or it's something that you can develop? Do you have some examples about it? Feel free to ask each other. And let's start with you, Luis.
Guys, I'm here to learn because I don't have idea in how to start, for instance, a company or the kind of things. Well, so I'm here to learn. I don't have any
But
suggest
what
or
but what do you think? Entrepreneurs, it's are born, or it's something that we can, if we want it, we can develop. Always this question: it's something natural, or it's a skill that people develop?
I think that you can learn about this if you have a good guidance, But in Brazil, we don't have a lot of examples in our country because it's not cultural thing, I believe. So um, I don't know what is a bright answer.
No, I have the same thing. I'm thinking right now here, but my first impression of that it's something as the most part of things that we can for sure develop. You can learn, and especially if you have these examples in our family, it's or even the help for your family to do this kind of thing. So, and I'm talking about maybe about just how say that big companies, but even for the small ones, people that, for example, their fathers and mothers, father and mother who uh, are entrepreneurs, for example, have a small business, something just for living. Your chance to develop this skill, it's bigger. I have this impression. I don't have these examples in my family. We usually are employees and that's it. But it would be good to think about it. For example, if I return to Brazil and I have to be a lawyer, I would like to be to have my own business, even if it's something risky. It would be I don't know I wouldn't like to have a boss anymore. This is my main reason. I don't know if it's the good if it is the good one, but it would be my main reason. You say something, Luis?
Great. I was just remember how digital open doors for a lot of people to be your own boss. For instance, I had an intern, menor aprendiz, and
Hmm.
5 years ago, he asked me for some. I love photography, and I just came back for in a trip, and uh, and he did a small PDF with this with my photos, and he started to sell, and it was pretty cool. Was not a big amount of money, but it was a cool experience, So I remember this, was a pretty cool initiative.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's it. And so the opportunities is more democratic. It's the good side of the technology, social medias. I usually see the how say that the bad side. So it's important to bring good examples to see that this is not how say that white and black and or just one side. But thank you, Luis. What about you, Diego? What do you think about this first question about being an
Okay.
entrepreneur? It's something natural or you can develop?
Yes, I think that everything we can develop, but if we understand and start with the principle that some people has some characteristics, okay, for example, related to your, I don't know, your, it's a little bit psychological, but related to your way to live, related to your um, apetite ao risco, your education, first education. This help you to be a better entrepreneur. Okay. Uh, as you said before, if you have a school in your house, for example, your daddy, your grandpa was entrepreneur, you can see and I don't know understand that you can assume some kind of a risks differently of other people. Um, for example, I have some friends who came from a family that all the family used to work as a public servant. Okay, this guy studied for public concurses and start a career in a tribunal right now. Okay, in a court. This guy, his mind is very, I don't know, limited. I don't know that's a correct word for this. To this kind of things that is good for public servants, but it's totally different for one guy who start entrepreneurship, for example. Okay.
Good example.
To complete the idea, I think that people can start to be entrepreneurship, understand their way to see the world, to way to see the challenges, this idea.
No, good point. I think that and we can find examples in many different careers, different things. And as you said, our family shape our mind in a way that you, for example, you look at your father, your mother, or people that you admire. In your family, you see, oh, I want to be like this person. And you try to copy, and it's easier to understand the steps that you have to take to
Yeah.
achieve this position. So it's something, it's hard. For example, for me it's the case, I don't have an entrepreneur in my family. If I want to be an entrepreneur, I should definitely ask for help to people that are also have this experience, and maybe hire someone to understand, because it's not something that I was raised with this information. So it's interesting, and it's the same for everything, not just for entrepreneurship. It's
Yes, that's
for
it.
the culture. How to say that? Have someone. I have a lot of friends, some friends that are musicians, and when I understand why they are musicians, oh, their parents were musicians. They were surrounded by musicians all the time, so it's easier. Interesting, interesting. Thank you, Diego. What do you think about it, Rizola? This first question about being an entrepreneur, or it's something natural, or can be, how to say it, learned?
Yeah, I believe in entrepreneurship is a mix of both natural inclination and learning skills, but I think not is in the extreme way people often think. I think some individuals are indeed born with traits that make the entrepreneurial path more intuitive, like curiosity, resilience, adaptability, or that natural drive to create things from scratch. This quality can give someone a head start, but they don't automatically make a person a success. No, oh my God,
It's
successful.
hard, this word.
Yeah, successful entrepreneur. And the same times, entrepreneurship is absolutely something that can be learning, practicing, and refined over time. Skills like leadership, financial management, strategy, thinking, communications, and decision making are not gifts. They are bind through experience, mistakes, mentorships, followers, and the consistent efforts. Yeah, many great entrepreneurs didn't start with a big vision or natural talent. This simple learn, tested, and great through the process. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, no, yeah. You have to try. Experience. It's the best way to learn everything. I think that is not just the one way, and we have to. We can improve the way that we experience things, but without experience, it's hard to really understand things. And it's interesting because I remember that I had a friend. I don't know if you have this things, guys, because I said that these examples too. That he didn't have this. In his family, entrepreneurs, people, but he always was someone that tried to sell things for everyone. He was involved in many pyramid business things. Always was like that, and nowadays he's a successful
Very good.
businessman that have how say that two stores selling things, and and he was also as poor as I was, and he didn't have, but it was just something in his mind all the time, and he could do it, So it's interesting. Go ahead, Diego.
No, a point that
It's
we
something that seems natural.
Yes, nowadays we have more resources than before because we have internet, we have some kind of programs, for example, not Senai, it's CSP, one of these companies. It's a kind of a public companies, okay? They have one immersion, 3 months of immersion, very high course for make you a good entrepreneurship, okay,
Okay.
related to marketing, to management, related to financial management. That's so important. And we have YouTube right now. We have some different kind of courses on the internet who help us a lot to start a job, to start one thing by us. Okay.
No, no, that's true. Nowadays it's easier, but it's interesting to see that there are people that maybe just they have this I don't
Yeah.
know, desire inside. It's a little bit crazy, but and it but of course I'm saying it is not a how deterministic thing. We can develop, and nowadays it's easier to learn things even if you don't how say that had this natural desire, or if you are raised in a family with this how say that environment oriented for this thing. So it's interesting to think about it too, that we have examples. And what about you, Fabiano? What do you think about this discussion between the entrepreneurs are born, or we can develop this skill?
I think you can develop it totally. I am a good example of this. I always work as a CLT, but nowadays I'm doing some freelances and try to build a new product. I have an idea. I am studying about this and try to build a new products to sell to the companies over the internet. But I am in the beginning of the project, so I have only ideas, and I will try and do a research about it. But yeah, about the entrepreneurs, I think it is the sector that most employ the people here in Brazil uh, because every corner has a store, has a bakery, has a restaurant, and in a lot of I don't know how to say communities has a lot of little stores, so small pub, yeah, and every I think it is the most sector that employs the most here in Brazil.
Very,
So I
very
think
interesting what you said, Fabiano. Go ahead, go ahead. You finished?
no,
Did you
it's
finish?
okay, yeah, because I think in this in the community mainly everyone sells something, sell clothes, sell ice cream, sell. So I think entrepreneurship here in Brazil is a lot, it's a great opportunity for everyone.
Interesting. Yeah, and João said it. I will ask you, so guys, because how do you see this the Brazilian situation? Based in our economy, the opportunities. Because Do you think that it's a good way to live in Brazil, be an entrepreneur? You consider that all these people that are doing these small jobs, think it's most for survive, or trying hard to raise their own business, are entrepreneurs? And how do you see the situations, in the economically talking, and even in the social and cultural side in Brazil? How do you see it, Luis? You just think that in Brazil, because we have this idea that, oh, the Brazil, everyone can, how said, have to do things to survive, and the Brazilian way to do things to, how do you see this, the idea of being an entrepreneur in Brazil, and how, especially nowadays?
Well, guys, I have a very limited uh, view about this subject because I live in a small city, and I think that I live in a small city. I work remotely for a time, and I am not that guy who are always on the streets, you know. So what I can realize is, for instance, for example, the city center in my city is become more empty. We don't have more small local shops. We don't have more banks. We don't have more people walking the streets in the city center downtown. And the impression that I got about this is that I don't know if everyone is going to the digital. I don't know if we have less money, uh, but I think that is everyday struggle for small companies, you know, because I think that situation in Brazil is a everyday struggle. Yes, because you need to survive to the end of the day. It's very difficult to make. I think to plan your month, your year. You know, I think that the first years and the first months, I don't know, looks like very hard. I think something like this, and this is my point of view. But I'm not the right guy to make
No,
this
of
answer.
course you are.
Is just a personal point of view.
No, no one here, I think, at least, is also an economist, and this, and even if it was, it's not a problem. Everyone has, everyone has, our own opinions, and not just opinions, but you're just talking about facts. So, because for me, it's interesting what you said. I've never talked before too about a small business and how it is important, not just in them economically talking, but socially talking, it's also important, because there are relations behind, this business. People need, it's something that it was. It's so sad when we see, for example, a small bakery that we was there for 10, 50 years just close, and when we see that the state helps a lot big companies, of course, because they bring money from Brazil to Brazil. There are reasons behind this helps, but why the bank develop public banks doesn't help? For example, the BNDES doesn't help small business. How could us make this thing works? Why we don't have policies to help libraries to survive? To Amazon, how say that, invasion. Because we're not just talking about some people that survive from it. We are talking about a social and cultural environment. People. It's about the well-being of our citizens. So it's something very, very interesting. But I was thinking even in another thing here that, and after I passed the how say that the opportunity to speak for everyone, that it was something that other thing when I think about entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship, I always thinking about now, especially nowadays, this wave that people saying against how say that CLT, against being an employee, have a contract. And my fear is people are thinking about being an entrepreneur but they are usually struggling to survive. Being an Uber for me is not being an entrepreneur. It's being if it's just being an employee without rights, and this
And
is the
you will
the
have a
problem.
lot of bosses because every client started to be your boss. This is
Go
very
ahead, Diego.
No, yes, this is very important to understand. Yes, for example, there is one question about a side hustle, okay, a side job.
Yes.
I have a lot of side jobs, 3 or 4 of them, okay. But what I understand that uh, in my current job, the CLT, I have just 1 or 2 jobs in a different categories, okay, hierarchy categories. But with another jobs, I have a lot of bosses because I have one boss to one consulting, another boss for one mentorship that I developed. I have another boss in a small business that I help them with a marketing strategy, and you need to follow the I don't know the ideas of this boss, and you have a is different from CLT because you have some kind of arrangements around the CLT. For example, your boss sometimes could happens, but they don't tell you to make something on I don't know on Sundays, for example, on Sunday
Mm-hmm.
morning. Okay, but sometimes if you have a I don't know emergency, you need to help one of your clients that is your boss too to solve some problems in these days. I don't know. This is one kind of the problems that people who think that just I don't know a sea of roses, okay, to start entrepreneurship.
Very, very interesting point. I could talk a lot, but let ask another people.
Yeah.
And what do you think about it, Bizola?
Sorry. Question
We
number two or
it's
you
related. It's
discussed.
related to the question number two. If you can develop, we are talking more about this. What it is being an entrepreneur, especially nowadays, and especially if you agree, if this side hustle makes someone an entrepreneur. How do you see this thing? You can talk about the second question if you want.
Okay, first, the second question, okay. Uh, for me, about the question number two, I already having something that could be considered a side hustle, a project that I've been binding with a lot of intention and long-term vision called recruitment. For me, by the recruitment become much more than a side project. It's turned into a strategy path that connect my professional growth with my professional goal of mastering a second language. Since the beginning, I decided that by the would be focused on the international market, especially the USA and the other region here. Remote recruitment is expanding rapidly, worked with global companies, salaries in my God, in dollar and the distributed things create a completely different level of experience and the challenge which is exactly what I wanted. These international directions is intentional. It's one of the best ways to combine the two things that matter deeply to me: my career as a recruiter and my journey to consolidate my English fluency. Every meeting, every negotiation, every job description, every talented presentation, all of it pushes me to communicate more confidently in English and gives me a daily immersion in real professional context, instead of studying the language just theory, even is through bite. Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. During your how say that speaking, I was thinking here that if this idea of being an entrepreneur have to be something they really like it, especially if you are starting something small, something from the scratch. You're not just assuming how say a position in a company that was created years and years how say that ago. When you are starting your own idea, you really have to be 100% in and see a purpose, probably more than just earn money or but something that we really like to do, that we or at least that you are good on. And I would like to hear from you, Fabiano. These two things. If you want to comment what you discussed here about this situation right now in Brazil, about being an entrepreneur. If you consider someone, for example, as an Uber, this Uberization of the economy, is this being an entrepreneur for you? And if you want to how say that share with us, because you told us that you have this business idea, and which moves you, when or which what moves you to do this thing, what's necessary for do these things. So go ahead.
Okay.
Maybe it's too much question, but choose whatever you want.
Okay, okay. First of all, in my opinion, I agree that if you have a side hustle, you can be considered an entrepreneur, because we need to doing some projects besides your current job. You need to develop, you need to sell the jobs, you need to talk to the clients, you need to do everything that an entrepreneur has. So you are an entrepreneur. Even driving by Uber, you're working by yourself. So you need to have your car okay. Need to clean your car, and you need to work, and you will want money for this. So I consider an entrepreneur because you have to do a lot of things. In my case, I changed my mind because, first of all, I am a little tired to answer the boss, to work in an employee environment, to engolir sapos sometimes. So yeah, I see an opportunity to develop myself. Of course, nowadays I am not working, but if an opportunity comes in a company, I will go. But in other side, I try to create other a product to sell and to work by myself, because I realized that I have more opportunities to work with something that I like it, to make my projects, to learn a lot, because I have to learn how to sell. Mainly, if anyone sells, the company doesn't go forward. So we need to learn how to sell the things, to how to talk with the clients. We need so I realized that I will learn a lot about this. And I think I am in a good moment to risk, to try. In the other side, I always looking for a new opportunity as well. But I think in Brazil we have a lot of opportunities here. For example, that is a good example. I don't know if you know about the Rick Chester's YouTube video. He starts to sell water in a beach, in Copacabana Beach, and everyone talks, "Oh, you are selling water." So he describes what he did. He buy a box of water, spends 10 reais, and sell 10 others, 2 reais, and with the he won, for example, 20 reais, and buys another box and sell. So he won in one day at the beach selling water. He won 300 reais a day. So, well, so you can see you can turn yourself. You can try to sell the thing to go to do something if you need. So I think here in Brazil we have a lot of opportunities. Brazil has a lot of problems, and and the main idea from an entrepreneur is to solve problems. So I'm studying about this. I'm trying to develop something that solves some problem about the data. I'm just having some ideas I'm putting in a paper and study
No,
for a while.
that's great. That's great, and what you said about solving problems, it's something very interesting, you know. And I was part of the CUFA. Don't know if you know. It's the Central Única das Favelas, and I
Yeah,
helped then to create how say that ONG here in Europe. It was in France. So and they have this philosophy. So and and they say that especially people from favelas, they are very how say that creative, and they are the natural how say that entrepreneurs because they have problems and they have to solve these problems with creativity because they don't have money just to pay for someone doing something, and it's a good philosophy. And I think this way to see this entrepreneurship, I really like it. You know, I learned it because before I have to confess here, I was the guy that this kind of entrepreneurship, this talking about it. It was to me just say, it's something for people the right side, politically talking. It was something related to capitalism, and I was maybe too much, how say that, revolutionary to do this thing. I was done with just what I'm thinking here right
Yeah,
now. So, and
there is
it's
a lot
important.
of confusion, okay, and people make a lot of confusion around this topic because there is just a way that you see to develop yourself in the world as a professional. Yes, Fabiano said before, as a CLT, you need to sell you all the time. You need to sell your work. You need to sell your position, that you are a good manager, you are a good analyst. And as an entrepreneur, you need to sell services or products to other people. You need to, I don't know, fight against the government, unfortunately, against your competitors. There is just a different way, okay?
I totally agree. I totally agree. And
In
we
a
can
matter of
find
wanting to help another people and to
yeah.
start your fight against the system, against the things that you believe or that you like that are not so good, because you have money or you have circumstances to help another. Okay, for example, if you believe that the capitalism is not good, start using capitalism to help another people in your way to help. Okay, this for me is a good idea and a good way to help other people.
I totally agree. I totally agree. We have to, and I need more people, for example, with this solutions. You know, that is people that are paying attention in the problems, the social problems, not just thinking about their own. So, but guy, I would like
Uh,
to. I think that the question number four, it's very interesting. I'd like to ask you, Luis, for start for us. So we often, I will read it right now. So we often hear stories of overnight success, but the reality is usually different. Why do you think society romanticizes the struggle of the entrepreneur? You know, what do you think about this thing? And if you do, and I'd like to know if you agree with this statement that the society romanticizes this struggle.
Yes, I think that the society this have has this kind of romance with this approach because we live by the shadows of the self-made man, you know. So we have this kind of a character, I think, because well, I think that we can't compare different kinds of society and different models, economic models, you know. So And yes, I do believe that it's not easy to start uh, a company with success. And I think the path is very hard because I was remember example that I had a colleague. She was trying to open a cacao show store, the chain store, chocolate chain store, and was very hard because Brazil has so many laws and bureaucracy to open a store that is very very hard. But I think that's the 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 character self-made man is very complicated for our reality, because we are a country with so many uh, unfair unfair style of life about our income.
Yeah, I think that the social barriers created by the state, I don't know just if it's just the state, but are huge, especially for someone that it's beginning from the scratch. And so, when thinking about small companies, and I think that is something urgent in your life. What do you think about it, Fabiano? This point that Luis brought to us about this culture of the self-made man, this thing that in the question number 4, that we romanticize the struggle of the entrepreneurs, this idea that the success, it's easy, you can just you if you can do it.
Uh, First of all, I don't believe in anything that says overnight success.
Yeah,
Because I don't believe. Of course, you can hear some stories about this, but even in case of success that arrives suddenly, if you do a research, you will realize that the person who did this studied, prepared about this, studied the market, try develop the product. So there is a long time, not suddenly it happens. So I don't believe in stories about this. But society romanticize a lot about the entrepreneur. It's not easy. It's not easy to open a store. As we said, we have a lot of obstacles, obstacles like taxes, like in
yes,
for example, if you open a store, you need to a license from the mayor, from the mayors. You have a lot of things to do before they open the store. Uh, uh, but in another way, I think the Brazilian people is the most prepared people from the world to solve problems, because we have a lot of problems here that we learn how to solve a lot. And I think the Brazilian people are the best in the world to solve problems. So we have jogo de cintura about everything. In this case, of course, nowadays there are a wave about romantic and open your business is easy. No, it's not easy. First of all, you need, in my opinion, first of all, you have to know how to sell. If you don't sell, you don't earn money, and your company is broke, will broke. So we have to learn to sell. It's the first of all. After sell, okay, you need to to have conscience that your product is getting better. Step by step, you need to improve your business. So never stop. You have to learn a lot. You have to learn to solve your problems all the time. So it's not easy to be an entrepreneur. It's not easy.
yeah, it's interesting to think about it. Diego, your turn. I'd like to know, considering what has said, these barriers that Luis and Fabiano has said that brought to us about tax, about I don't know, the bureaucracy law, that the lack of incentive. Do you believe in the, what do you think about the self-made man, or even about this overnight success culture? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, this kind, especially right now nowadays with the social media ascension, we are seeing people selling this idea to others because to show that you are uh, uh,
What? I think he froze.
He froze.
Free. Oh, let's just wait seconds. But I was interested too. I said I was
Yes.
expecting to hear from here. But for me, the most difficult thing is thinking about it is the way that they are selling. That it's easy. What do you think about it, Luis? I think that you didn't comment this part.
Well, I think that is not easy because there's a lot of techniques, I think, and you need to. For me, it's a very far away reality, but what I can imagine that is not easy, because but I was thinking here working on IT is like everyone is your boss, because you are connected to every division in the company, so everyone asks to you something, and working for that data is the same way. But I was thinking this if how I deal in my everyday routine, and yes, but I think that's well, back to the question. I think that's very, very, very hard to the idea to sell, at least for me.
For me, it's the same. No, I really would like to do, how said that, to have this experience in life, since we have just one life. But it's so far from me right now that I don't know if I will do it one day. But guys, I don't know if Diego's back. I don't think so. He is here, but he's not here in the same time. But yeah, what I was thinking here, it was how it was interesting this point that you said and Diego said the same thing too. That maybe being an entrepreneur, especially if you are a small entrepreneur, it's not no, don't have a boss. It's having a lot of bosses. It's
Yes.
and this idea, it's uh, terrifies me. I don't know if you think about it, Fabiano. You have this impression too that it's being an entrepreneur, especially in the beginning, it's have a lot of bosses, not just one.
Yes, because you lead with the clients. So every client is a boss. If you don't do what the client wants, you'll be dying. The client will change you for other. So
That's the point.
everyone, yes, of course. If you go to a store to buy a clothes, jacket, for example, if the sales person saying bad things to you, you never going back to the store. So
Yeah. But I have
this
the
is
impression when you are more established entrepreneur, you can, you're not so in the hands of your clients. You, of course, you have to make something that you enjoy, but if it's some client, it's not good and is not well for you, you can just say, oh, okay, I work like that. If you don't want it, go ahead and find another company. But the problem is, for me, it's terrifying me starting a new job and a new business, and I think that I don't have choice. The client that appears is the best one possible because it's
yeah.
the only one that I have. I don't know if you feel like that, but it's
But
it's hard. It's hard to think about it, especially in this also abstracting talking. It's not something that I have in my life right now.
every sale is a knowledge, is a
Yeah, that's
aprendizado.
true.
So you use them to add on your luggage and be the best on the next client. So I think every opportunity that you have is a good opportunity to learn a lot about everything. So I think in this way. So even if for example, I have a friend that he has a company, and then the company right now is going up a lot. He rent how can I say in English? Gerador,
Okay.
electric generator to parties, to restaurants, and nowadays he has a lot of trucks with a lot of generators, and he's very good. His company is growing up every month because of this,
Amazing.
and every client he faz questão to to give a good good attention for every client. So for him is the most important because the client can indicate you to other clients, and
Yes.
so we need to be a good entrepreneur and to treat a client with good things.
Yeah, deliver a good service. It's always important,
Yes, deliver a
especially
good service.
as an entrepreneur. So, guys, we don't have more time, but it was very, how to say that, interesting for me talking about it. And it's hard, I have to admit here, because it's not something that I usually talk about it. So thank you so much for being here and helping me with this lack of knowledge that I have on this subject. And I would like to hear from you how it was being here, starting from you, Luis.
Well, as well, great. For me, it was a great topic to talk about, to think about, because it's not my reality, and was pretty cool. Thanks for the subject.
Yeah, no, just to say for you guys, it was not me myself that chose this topic. It was something that I didn't put the questions before us in the deadline, and they chose for me. But it was good because otherwise I would never say that would bring this topic. So I like it. And what about you, Fabiano? How was the conversation for you?
For me, it was very good because I like this topic. I'm studying about this topic right now, and I think I have an opportunity to change my life because I don't want more to work for others, only work for me, and don't depend of the companies. I am 46 years old, and I realize here in Brazil, unfortunately, the people pay attention about your age. So it's
That's
difficult.
true.
So if you have a company, you don't care about your age. Only the importance for you is to give a good service, a good deliver a good service for your client. So doesn't matter how age you are.
Very interesting point. You how said gave me a good idea to how said for another immersion topic talking about how said age and the work environment and how
Yes.
to it's hard for people that just you are not old but even like that it's hard to find new positions. People don't hire you if you want, for example, start a totally new career. It would be difficult for everyone here, you know, even for me, I'm the younger here, and it would be difficult if I decided to be, I don't know what, a mathematician. It would be terrible, not just because I'm terrible in math, but even because people will not hire me. But so it's a good topic to think about it. It's a good reason to be an entrepreneur. So, guys,
Yes.
thank you so much for being here, and see
Thank
you
you.
tomorrow if you can, or in another immersion here. And see you. Bye bye.
See you.